welcome back to Stone Cottage Studios. Thank you so much for tuning in and joining us for another artist session today. I'm really excited to have Wes Urbaniak with us here in the studio. Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, one of the first questions that I like to ask people is kind of just your music story and how music influences you in your life and kind of what it gives you.
That's it's an evolving story.
Mm,
It's still changing a lot. You know, the reasons I started playing music are not the reasons I continue to play music,
mm,
and we'll see where it goes. It's really shifted in the last couple of years. More and more, it's different questions
mm,
asking, and sort of a reflection to fortitude or resilience or what it's like to work through some really hard complicated problems
mm,
and what it's like, especially this last couple of summers and this last summer, being on the stage with my band. When I listen to the songs as we're playing them, i I like feel so much of this reminder, um because like last summer, for instance, I live on an island in a river in Montana, and we had a pretty historical flood come through, and this yurt that I live in floated, and
oh no.
fortunately wasn't so out of whack that I couldn't reset it. But my shop's also on the island, and it flooded, and so the day before the flood, we played a fundraiser in a little town, Red Lodge, that also got flooded, and it was raining that night. And I went home, and just that whole time of thinking about the waters coming up and what we're doing and what we're working on. And then I listened to this music that we're playing, and like the very next week, I'm like home for 3 4 days cleaning stuff up, and we're off playing shows again and playing festivals, and we're like, okay, at these festivals, and we're on the stage, and everything at home is such a mess.
Oh,
And it's like we're singing these songs, and they make a lot of sense. They're like really beautiful reminders of effort and trials, and like I said earlier, fortitude is
yeah,
is really a big piece of that.
that's beautiful. Yeah, I always find it curious and like to gain insight as a songwriter myself, just to yeah, where people find their inspiration from, and the trials and the hard times definitely play into music almost as a
Yeah,
therapy, for a lot of people, and I can resonate with that as well.
yeah.
Um, just before this, we were talking about how you have a new album that's going to be coming out March 17th, I believe you said.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, do you want to speak a little bit
On
about
that.
that?
Yeah, we um yes, we were working on a bunch of songs, and the concept of the album, I like to write in concepts, was Rome.
Mm,
And the title song was Rome, and we were in that direction. And then somehow, just like it happens sometimes, we discovered we had too many songs, and one set was quite a bit heavier, and so we decided to call that Wander the Blurry.
mm,
Blurry being life, and wander meaning go explore, meet new people, discover new things, find yourself in crazy situations and figure out how to get out of them, kind of stuff. And spent a lot of time with Wander the Blurry. And then, right in the middle of working on that album, I spent 7 days in pitch black. In we built what we call the witching well, but it's a little wood fired sweat lodge,
uh,
and I spent 7 days in it, in the pitch black, and I came out.
7 days in the pitch black sweat lodge.
Yeah, so you don't sweat. And it was cold.
Yeah.
And there's just zero light, and you go through the experience. So I had time, like right in the middle of the album, to really think about it.
Whoa.
And so then when I came out, I rewrote one of the songs, and it's called "The Dark Side of the Blurry,"
Mm,
or we just call it "Dark Side" at this point. But it was really neat to see how "Wander the Blurry" sort of came before
Uh,
this dark retreat journey, and then how it like influenced and was like, oh, I think this is the right album that we're
wow.
making, and then
Wow.
we'll get back to Rome later this summer,
Wow.
and Rome is a lighter, prettier, more guitar picky
Mhm.
album with more big band harmonies,
Mhm.
and it'll
Wander
be
the
nice.
Blurry. That's just the coolest name. It's really,
Thanks.
really cool. Yeah.
Thanks.
It almost, yeah, just listening to you speak about it almost gave me goosebumps a little bit. I don't know.
Mm.
I'm really excited. Are you going to be playing any of the songs off that kind of project tonight or no?
Yeah, I'll play one song. I'll play the closing song from that album, and it's called "House Built to Fall Apart."
Beautiful.
And um, yeah, we it's been a really awesome journey into uh, vocal exercises. Like what I've made a lot of albums, and I've always kept kind of safe,
Mm.
and I really wanted to go a lot bigger, and so I learned how to sing louder and higher, and spent a lot of days hoarse after an hour of sitting at the microphone, where I was like, all right, I should probably go do something else because I can't talk right now.
Yeah.
And it was so that was a huge experience, being back in the yurt, because I recorded the whole thing in the yurt. Now that it's repaired on the island, and with the cold weather, and there's just wood fire going all the time,
Wow.
and it was like, well, I wonder if anybody's walking out there on the island and they hear a guy just screaming his head off in a yurt, what they're thinking. It's like, this is great.
I love
Uh,
it. That sounds great. So, I will you just explain to me because I want to have like a visualization or an idea like the island that you're talking about because you're from
Livingston, Montana.
Livingston, Montana.
Yeah, so there's an island called Ninth Street Island, and it's pretty big. It's a pretty big island, and anybody that's from there knows about it.
Sure.
And then there's the what would be like the north end, I think. Everybody calls the directions different names in that town.
Yeah.
So it's hard to know which side of town I actually live on. Uh, but the end of the island, my friend owns it, and um, let me come there. I've been there about a year and a half. Let me come there. There was a little bit of space there, and some of the building stuff needed some upkeep, and I really love stepping out of music and just doing something with a hammer, or doing something with
Yeah.
a trowel, or doing something with a lawnmower, or just I really like the care of a place,
Mm.
and it really needed that. So the shop got to be there, and then I wound up hanging out there, and it's like such a rad place to be, and um, it's not the island's pretty big, but that part of the island's all by itself, and it's
Awesome.
at the end, and
Wow. That's so cool. Yeah, I resonate with you talking about, I mean, we were speaking before as well. I'd love for you to talk about your instruments that you're going to be playing, but as a musician, I don't know, like the act of creating like tactile, like with your hands, I don't know, is just so cool. So when it comes to carpentry or, building with a hammer, may it be instruments, yeah, there's something really to that for
yes.
sure. Yeah.
You know, I really love music, um, and for different reasons, I think, than a lot of people I've known. And I know a lot of great songwriters, and I know a lot of great songwriters personally, and they feel so disconnected to me from what they're saying and what they're doing.
Mm,
And I think for me, I wanted to be in the dirt of it.
mm,
I wanted to know the working. I wanted to really be in the trial of it.
mm,
And so I wasn't so talking about like house built to fall apart. I'm not afraid of things falling apart, and really getting into them, and really going into where they are at their core and how they're functioning and how it's working. And I love systems like that. When I write a song or I play a song, I don't want to feel like I want to feel like I really belong with it, like,
mm,
and it belongs with me,
yeah.
and it means something.
Mm.
And so instruments feel like a pretty awesome extension there. It felt like this really awesome way to express. I didn't have frustrations with instruments. I did have a love for them and a curiosity about them, and I wanted to know more about them. And so I started building largely out of curiosity and just this pure joy
Wow.
of building. And I, I've been building for about 20 years, and I love like the act of reclamation. So I started picking up 100-plus-year-old pianos. I had a little influence from my friend Dan to do so, and I was pretty resistant at first, and then I did, and they're heavy, and I probably am one of the few guys around that picks pianos up by myself regularly and moves them around, uh, and so I pick them up, take them apart, and right now we have 4 or 5 sitting on the island. We're gonna film something else with them. We
Wow.
just set them out in the trees, and I was like, all right, this is great. And
Yeah.
then um, once people started finding out what I was building with and seeing the instruments, they people began to like give like present me with wood. They were like, "Yo, this wood is from here. This wood is from this place, or this was my grandpa's barn that was built in the 1800s," or
Wow.
crazy stuff. And I wound up with a couple remaining benches from Red Rocks Amphitheater, and I was working on building. I'd really love to play there someday, and I was working on building the band all new. And so I thought, it'd be great with us touring if all of us were playing these instruments out on the road and taking them around with us, because they were there for so long. And it's like the musicians that played for the people on those benches,
No, the energy is
and
like in that wood. That's
and
yeah.
a lot of those benches are just barely big enough to work with, and
Wow.
there isn't much left. And the flood almost took that away too. It was close. It was pretty bad. It looked like I had a tree party in the shop, and they got sick and threw up everywhere. It was just an awful outcome for quite a while.
Oh man.
And spent spent 8 months rebuilding a lot of the buildings in the shop. And then, with that much time off, it was interesting not knowing how to approach, like, even beginning to build again.
Yeah.
And my first day in, even just working around some of the remaining debris and stuff, has just been so good.
Mm.
I'm like, oh yes, this is like this next iteration. Every time I've had to take a break from building has been, it's really inspired me. When I come back, like, step it up.
Yeah.
Next time you come back, like, break some habits and really take it to the next level.
That's cool,
And
Wes.
it's felt really good. Oh,
Seems like I'm just so excited to listen to your music here in a moment. Yeah, the amount of like passion and clarity that you speak with about both your music and your building and just kind of your life just in this brief conversation that I've had is like really inspiring to me, and it's really cool to hear your perspective. So thank you so much for sharing.
yeah, thanks. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And thank you to everyone tuning in and watching this at home or online or on your phone or wherever. Stone Cottage Studios is a little recording studio here in Boulder, Colorado, and we're committed to trying to support and grow and help local and touring and artists and musicians and foster conversation so we can all learn and grow and become the best people we can be. So thank you so much for supporting us. And Wes, I'll let you take it away.
Cool. Yeah, thank you.
Great.
No, you got yourself no matter where you go. You got yourself when you go. got yourself no matter where you go. You know you got yourself when you go. If you're wondering if you're good enough, you are, you are, you are. If you're wondering if you have what it takes, you do, you do. If you're wondering if it's always gonna be this goddamn hard, that depends on what you choose to do. Hey, good dreamer, how are ya? You're working the work for which you're called. Learn to work the thread for your own stitches. You'll heal up strong, you'll carry on. You'll heal up strong, you carry on. No, someday it won't be failure, even if for now it's all you got. Bones are strong and they support you. You'll stand up strong, you'll carry on. Stand up strong, you carry on. And if you're wondering if you're good enough, you are, you are, you are. If you're wondering if you have what it takes, you do, you do. If you're wondering if it's always gonna be this goddamn hard, that depends on what you choose to do. Go be like the tide, get to know it. When it gets low, it's time for sowing. When he turns and starts to come up, embrace that time for flowing. When it's high, enjoy it. The reaper's fate is yours and you have earned it. Go be like the tide, young dreamer. All the ups and downs are yours. Oh, you know, got yourself no matter where you go. You know, got yourself when you go. And if you're wondering if you're good enough, you are, you are, you are. And if you're wondering if you have what it takes, you do, you do. And if you're wondering if it's always gonna be this goddamn hard, that depends on what you choose to do. That depends on what you choose to do. We don't have to know the way to good. We just have to know to try. Even if the first few do not hold, rejoice in those efforts that are bold. Don't forget that in you is wild. Don't forget there's love that got you here. Don't forget there's goodness in the miles. Even if the heavy holds for years. Even if the heavy holds for years. What is this? What's happening to the people? The dams that hold the fear back are failing. Still practice goodness if you're able. The tide will raise all spirits when it comes. As with fire there will be ashes, a sign of all the things that have been done. Still practice goodness if you're able. The tide will raise all spirits when it comes. We don't have to know the way to good. We just have to know to try. Even if the first few do not hold, rejoice in those efforts that are bold. Don't forget that in you is wild. Don't forget there's love that got you here. Don't forget there's goodness in the miles. Even if the heavy holds for years. 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 Bring your curses to the witching well. I'll be there, we can tick and talk a while. There's counsel for the weary, lights when the light burns low. Keeping faith, holding steady, keeping light when the light burns low. So bring your curses to the witching well. I'll be there, we can tick and talk a while. I'll be there, we can tick and talk a while. We don't have to know the way to good. We just have to know to try. Even if the first few do not hold, rejoice in those efforts that are bold. Don't forget that in you is wild. Don't forget there's love that got you here. Don't forget there's goodness in the miles. Even when the heavy holds for years. Even when the heavy holds for years. Even when the heavy holds for years. Here I go, all this madness is behind me. Into death is where I lean, it's where you'll find me. I'm only a memory to you, grown in love and hate, you know me well. But I'm only a memory to you. You're the dirt, it calls for my body. Heaven calls for my soul. And my children call for my property. Nothing here was ever mine to own. Nothing here was ever mine to own. In this time I've been watching, I've grown old. The skin upon my bones, it wears loose. All I have is still not much to give. Whatever it might be, though, I'll give it all to you. I will give it all to you. I will give it all to you. Oh, these words, you're confusing up the meanings. Love is fierce, it can be kind, but it is fierce. Hate is cruel, but it's a necessary evil. To not know both is to deny each the other. When you know them, you'll see that they are brothers. I can see it in your mind, your disagreement. I can see it, you don't think that I can see it well enough. I can see it, how you try to rise above it. No, I don't see it like you do. No, you don't see it like I do. In this time I've been watching, I've grown old. Skin upon my bones, it wears loose. All I have is still not much to give. Whatever it might be, though, I'll give it all to you. In this time I've been watching, I've grown old. Skin upon my bones, it wears loose. And all I have is still not much to give. Whatever it might be, though, I'll give it all to you. I will give it all to you. I will give it all to you. Yeah, the dirt, it calls from my body. Heaven calls from my soul. And my children call from my property. Nothing here was ever mine to own. 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 In this time I've been watching, I've grown old. The skin upon my bones, it wears loose. All I have is still not much to give. Whatever it might be, though, I'll give it all to you. In this time I've been watching, I've grown old. The skin upon my bones, it wears loose. All I have is still not much to give. Whatever it might be, though, I'll give it all to you. I will give it all to you. I will give it all to you. There's a power in the people and in the ways that we connect, yeah. There's a power in the people and in the ways that we react, yeah. There's a power in this here, a power in this here, a power in this here where we're at. There's a power in the people and in the ways that we connect, yeah. There's a power in the people and in the ways that we connect, yeah. There's a power in the self and in the ways that we react, yeah. There's a power in this here, yeah, a power in this here. There's a power in this here where we're at. There's a power in the people and in the ways that we connect, yeah. What you gonna do when it all falls down? When it all falls down? When it all falls down? What you gonna do when it all falls down? When it all falls down? When it all falls down on you? Hey, 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 Who we gonna see when the walls come down? When the walls come down? When the walls come down? Who we gonna see when the walls come down? When the walls come down? When the walls come down on you? Hey, 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 Yeah, I'll be working on my broken parts. Stand me up, yeah, I'll be going again. Yeah, I'll be walking straight into the open wound. Stand me up, I'll be going again. When my light burns low, I got no place to go. Stand me up, yeah, I'll be going again. Yeah, I'll be working on my broken parts. Stand me up, I'll be going again. What I'm gonna do when it all falls down, when it all falls down, when it all falls down. It's what I'm gonna do when it all falls down, when it all falls down, when it all falls down on me. Hey, 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 You are a house built to fall apart, in a world built to fall apart. You are a house built to fall apart, in a world built to fall apart. You are a house built to fall apart, in a world built to fall apart. You are a house built to fall apart, in a world built to fall apart. You are a house built to fall apart, in a world built to fall apart. You are a house built to fall apart, in a world built to fall apart. But there's a power in the people and in the ways that we connect, yeah. A power in the self and in the ways that we react, yeah. A power in this here, a power in this here, a power in this here where we're at. There's a power in the people and in the ways that we connect, yeah. Here I stand and I am grateful for all these burdens I have known. They taught my bones how to stand here. They teach my mind about my soul. Through all these storms that I have weathered, applied upon the land I might roam. I am free like you, dear. I am free like you. one foot in front of the other. I'm not a man to stand still. The long walk calls my name, dear. The long walk calls my name. The long walk calls my name, dear. Never shall I stay. For I am a soldier for life. I am a soldier for the living, trying hard to do here what's right. And I'm grateful for the life that I've been given. I'm careful not to think my mind more divine. Righteousness is never good for thought. The imaginary details in the fabrics wearing thin began to fray, some began to rot. I am free, but I am bound to the long walk. I carry all these pockets full of ashes, a mind full of seeds that I might sow. I shall turn out a garden, I shall weed out my soul. And I shall know the reaper's fate, I shall know it as my own. I will shore up my foundations, my character I will build of stone. For I am a soldier for life, I am a soldier for the living, trying hard to do here what's right. And I'm grateful for the life that I've been given. I'm careful not to think my mind more divine. Righteousness is never good for thought. The imaginary details that had me bound up there inside began to fray, and some began to rot. I am free, but I am bound to the long walk. I've been talking to the stars, I've been talking to the moon, I've been deepening my soul, I've been building up my home. I've been rising from the fall, I've been climbing on, and I set my teeth upon all the madness of it all, it all, it all. I've been talking to the stars, I've been talking to the moon, I've been deepening my soul, I've been building up my home, I've been rising from the fall, I've been climbing on, and I set my teeth upon all the madness of it all, it all, it all. I am a soldier for life, I am a soldier for the living, trying hard to do here what's right. And I'm grateful for the life that I've been given. I'm careful not to think my mind more divine. Righteousness is never good for thought. The imaginary details that had me burnt up inside began to fray, and some began to rot. I am free, but I am bound to the long walk. I am free, but I am bound to the long walk. Did you come from far away, and do you still have far to go? I think maybe you did, yes, think maybe you do. Yes, I come from far away, and yes, I still have far to go. I think maybe I ought, think maybe I ought to roam. I ought to roam. There's a calling here inside me, speaking words that I've been hiding, and I think it's time. Yes, I know it's time. So yes, I come from far away, and yes, I still have far to go. I think maybe I ought, think maybe I ought to roam. I ought to roam. Ooh, here I am. Here I go. Ooh, there is a power that I'm holding. I'd like for you to know you hold it too. Right from here I can go, yes, right from where I am. And when at last I arrive, it's because I began through and by. Yes, I did the work, yeah, opened up the hard things, learned to heal the hurt. So yes, I come from far away, and yes, I still have far to go. I think maybe I ought, think maybe I ought to roam. I ought to roam. Ooh, here I am. Ooh, from here I go. Ooh, there is a power that I'm holding. I'd like for you to know you hold it too. Here I am. Ooh, from here I go. Ooh, there is a power that I'm holding. I'd like for you to know you hold it too. So yes, I come from far away, and yes, I still have far to go. I think maybe I ought, think maybe I ought to roam.